Hello everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S exam prep. My name is Savitri Krishnamurty. I am your mentor. I am your VARC mentor. And today we're going to look at TISSNET 2022. We're going to look at how to tackle the English section in TISSNET 2022. Alright. Now you must have had classes before. You must have seen some of the questions. So today's session will be like a quick review of all the things that you've learned or you would expect for the TISSNET exam. We'll review all the important aspects of English in TISSNET. We'll look at important idioms and phrases. As you know, there's a lot of focus on vocabulary and grammar in TISSNET. So we're going to, obviously I cannot be teaching you all the fundamentals in a short class, but we'll look at some important frequently asked idioms and phrases. We'll look at some commonly tested grammar concepts, something that you should know if you are taking an aptitude test. And then I have also put together some vocabulary and grammar questions that are generally asked. So if it's good practice for you, and if you don't know the meanings of those words or you didn't know a particular concept of grammar, this session will help you. So overall, I hope that this session will help you score really well in the English section in TISSNET. Now, what can you expect in the English section of TISSNET? In 2021, the pattern of the passage was the pattern of the paper was somewhat like this. You had two passages from RC, 10 questions, 5 questions in each passage. Generally, the passages in TISSNET are easy to moderate, so you can answer at least 3 out of 5 questions. They would be all direct questions. But the question is, how much time should you spend on reading the passages? That's what students ask. Now, there's no negative marking. So I tell students, read, aim at maximum accuracy, but at the same time do not leave any question unmarked. The whole thing would come to how much time, what is the optimum time that you spend on RC, but you have to make sure that you answer as many questions as possible. Fill in the blanks. There were 7 questions. Fill in the blanks. You get 2 types of questions in TISSNET. One is vocabulary based and grammar based questions, right? Vocabulary would be mostly prepositions. Grammar would be mostly prepositions, and vocabulary, they have asked a range of words. I will do some of them in today's class. Then you have synonyms and antonyms, which is 3 questions each. The English section is generally moderate. Yeah, not tough. Okay. And what makes it good is there is no minus marking, right? So you don't feel, so sometimes in many cases, like in CAT and ZAT, you take the exam. In many cases, you think you know the word, but you're scared to mark it because you said, what if I go wrong? Right? I don't want to guess. But here, the lack of negative marking makes this a good exam. It is that if you're good at vocabulary and grammar, then you'll do really well in TISSNET. The grammar, the RC is pretty easy. You need to just read properly and answer questions. All right, so that is the key. Okay, there would be last year there was one spelling question. So when you are looking at spellings, hello Shubh, hello me and my backpack. All right, and Nikita. Okay. So what you need to do for spelling is look at those troublesome words, double M's, recommendation, necessary, like double words, double consonant words, EIIE. Those are the things you need to be looking at. Okay, those kind of words are important. And parajumbles, again, very easy. Para summary as part of critical reasoning. What is the main point of the passage? What is the summary of the passage? So they would generally be much easier than CAT and ZAT, but they wouldn't be like a cakewalk. So you need to concentrate, focus, and then you will do well. All right. So this is what I would uh, advise you to do. Obviously attempt all questions, right? I attempt vocabulary and grammar questions first because either you know it or you don't. You don't have to spend too much time on it. But if the RC passage is there and you like it, then quickly you can do the RC as well. So it all depends on what you are most comfortable with. It's like eating a plate of food. So different people eat it in different ways. So I would attempt vocabulary and grammar questions first. But if you're comfortable with doing RC, do that. Keep calm, focus on accuracy till the last 5 minutes to 7 minutes. You should try to get the questions right as far as possible. But in the last 5 to 7 minutes, finish everything. A, B, C, D, D, C, B, A, all B's. Decide what you're going to do and mark whatever you could not in the remaining time. This is for all the questions. The only section where there's a sectional cutoff is GK, 35% of the total marks. So GK is out of 40 or 45, 45. So you need about 35% of that. So make sure you get at least 14 to 15 questions right in the GK section. General awareness. Again, the general awareness questions are not very difficult. Pranav Pant takes regular GK sessions, GK marathons. Make sure you log into a few of his sessions and your GK will be fantastic. All right. You can attempt, you can get 25 plus easily. Just have to focus and have faith in yourself. Okay, sure. All right. Idioms and phrases can be asked as standalone questions. Generally, they ask it as part of fill in the blank, or they say they quote a sentence and they say, what's the meaning of that phrasal verb or idiom? So, what does to wear your heart on your sleeve mean? A, to show your feelings. B, to be intimate with someone. C, to do the right thing. Or D, to love someone dearly. What is the meaning of to wear your heart on your sleeve? Your former cricket captain Virat Kohli believes in wearing his heart on his sleeve. So, what does that mean? Quickly, let me see your answers. A, B, C, or D. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. There's no negative marking here or in TISSNET. Yeah, so Vanya says it is A. Shubh says it is A. It is indeed A. To show your feelings, to reveal your feelings. All right? Okay, excellent. To carry coals to Newcastle. What does to carry coals to? Yes, good. Give me the question number as Ayush has done. It's easier for me to see your answers. Fantastic. All right. To carry coals to Newcastle. What does it mean? To work in the coal industry, to work very hard, to do manual work, or to do an unnecessary job. What do you think the expression to carry coals to Newcastle mean? A, to work in the coal industry, B, to work very hard, C, to do manual work, and D, to do an unnecessary job. If I give you a hint, you will get it right. Okay. Newcastle in England at one time was famous for selling coal. It was the coal, literally the coal capital of England. So if you want to go to Newcastle and you take coal with you, what are you doing? You're doing something which is useless, unnecessary, right? To carry coals to Newcastle means to do an unnecessary work because people in Newcastle are fed up of coal. There's coal everywhere, and you're taking coal as a gift. So to do an unnecessary job is called to carry coals to Newcastle. All right. Okay. Think of another very famous idiom which means the same thing, a futile attempt. All right. Who do you think is a man of straw? When I call somebody a man of straw, do I mean that he's a very important person, a man of no substance, an unreasonable man, or a worthy man? If you call someone a man of straw, are you paying that person a compliment or not? And if you are, what are you exactly meaning? What do you mean to call? What do you mean he is? Is he a very important man? A man of no substance? An unreasonable man or a worthy man? Who do you think is, what is the meaning of a man of straw? Straw ka matlab pata hai na? Dry grass or the husk that comes out of paddy plants. That's called straw. A man who's full made up of straw, what would he be? He would be, straw is not a very expensive or very valued item, right? So if you're calling a man of straw, you are saying he is a useless person, he is a cowardless person, he is not a worthy person. No negative marks, Arnab. Yeah. Okay, so a man of straw is a man of no substance. Now, if you call somebody, my handwriting on the pen tablet unfortunately is not very good, but I have to write this. If you call someone a man of parts and bits and pieces person. They are two different things altogether. A man of parts, is that a compliment or an uncomplimentary remark? Oh, he's a man of parts. Do you think I mean something good or not? Positive or negative? Positive P, negative N. Quickly give me the answer. A man of parts. Do I mean somebody really good at a lot of things or somebody who is again, nothing? So, Kapil Dev was a great all-rounder, cricket all-rounder. The movie on him didn't do very well, but Kapil Dev himself was a very, very great cricketer. Uh, so, if you call somebody a man of parts, you're calling somebody a very versatile person. He could bat, he could bowl, he could field. Kishore Kumar, he could sing, he could compose songs, he could act. He was also a very funny comedian. He could so he was a man of parts. Understood? A bits and pieces person is not good at anything. Alright? So you see how that change happened. Iska usme matlab mein koi farak nahi. You feel it's the same thing. But it isn't the same thing. That's the whole point about idioms. If you guess, you can go really wrong, but it's okay in TISSNET to guess. As I said, if you know it, fantastic. If you don't be afraid to guess. Not, at least not in TISSNET and NMAT. These are two exams which don't have negative marks. All right. To take something with a pinch of salt. You have a friend who says something, okay? And you say, you know what? I would take what he says with a pinch of salt or a grain of salt. What do you mean by that? To totally not trust that person, to take whatever he says with a pinch of salt. Let's say you say, oh, Savitri ma'am, take whatever she says with a pinch of salt. What do you mean by it? That I am not somebody to trust? You should take me seriously? To believe someone with reservations, or to trust completely, wholeheartedly, no reservations. What does taking something with a pinch of salt or a grain of salt mean? Somebody makes a claim that, if this happens, I'm going to resign. You say, hey, he's been saying this so many times, takes whatever he says with a pinch of salt. So with qualifications, with reservations, don't totally believe him. Be doubtful. You need salt to process your food. So the same way, what's happened? Can you see the PPT? Is there a problem? Let me just see. No, sorry. Um, all right. Can you see it now? Can you see the PPT? All right. So basically, I don't take too many classes nowadays. So I get a little nervous when the computer doesn't work, or there's any glitch. Even a minute, I start feeling a little anxious. All right. If you say, he took me for a ride. Okay. I'm not going to give you the whole sentence, but in TISSNET, sometimes they give you the sentence. Let me see if you know the meaning as it is. If you can't, then I will give a sentence. All right. Somebody has promised. This, you keep reading it in the newspaper all the time, that somebody came from the outskirts of Delhi or Bangalore or Chennai. That person didn't know anything, was standing in a long line for college admissions, and then this very well-dressed person with a college ID comes and says, you're waiting for so long, give me the money, I'll go pay your fees. You just have to buy me a coffee for that. This guy gives him the money and then figures out that he's been taken for a ride. So to take somebody for a ride means to perfect. All of you got the answer even before I completed my example. To take somebody for a ride means to cheat someone. Now in America, this is a very American idiom. And in gangster, all those bhai log pictures that you see, to take somebody for a ride means it has even more serious implications. So when they say take him for a ride, it means to finish him off. But we are not looking at gangster technology, gangster jargon. We're looking at common English. Taking someone for a ride means cheating somebody. Spinning a line. To spin a line means to tell a lie. He told me this and that, and I realized he was spinning me a line. Jhoot bola. He was tricking me. He was cheating me. All right. Okay. Next one. This is the kind of fill in the blanks based on idioms and phrases, phrasal verbs that you get. People engaged in dash talk while waiting for the ceremony to begin. So, what talk did people engage in? Pompous, small, big, or useless? Question 6. Give me your answers. A. Pompous. B. Small. C. Big. D. Useless. People engaged in what talk while waiting for the ceremony to begin? You're waiting, you're gathered around. The screen is not open. There is the dance event or a music event. Arijit Singh is supposed to sing, and you're sitting. So you sit with somebody sitting next to you, don't know him. You talk about the weather, the COVID vaccination. So you engage in small talk, casual, trivial conversation, nothing of great importance. Right? Small talk, exactly. Okay. I was fed up with their attitude and decided to dash my hands of the matter. Wash my hands of the matter, clean my hands of the matter, wring my hands of the matter, or remove my hands of the matter. What is the expression I want for question 7? Wash, clean, wring, or remove for question 7. 6, excellent. Many of you got the questions right. 7, let me see. I was fed up with their attitude and decided to dash my hands of the matter. Pompous means boastful, Arnav. Pompous means boastful. Okay, somebody who brags a lot. Okay, okay. When so you okay, the other question that I have for you is this sentence correct, or is it uh wash my hands OFF the matter? Is it OF or OFF? TISSNET will be get the same length questions. You get questions similar to this. In fact, I have picked up from uh past year papers similar ones. Yeah. Okay. Some of them are, I think small talk was a TISSNET question. I don't remember, but yeah, I picked it up from past year papers. I was fed up with their attitude and decided to wash my hands of the matter. The A is the correct answer. All right. That means I don't want any involvement in this. मेरे को कुछ नहीं करना है. I am away from this. So you're washing your hands. By the way, the sentence is correct. It is only one F. In India, we make the mistake of saying washing my hands off the matter. No OFF. All right. So you just have one F, remember, because that is also tested. So sometimes they'll say to disclaim or disown responsibility from a matter. What is the idiom? Then that idiom is washing your hands of a matter. OF only. Don't trust me, please look up the dictionary. Just Google after the class, after the session, wash your hands, OF the matter. You will immediately get 10 entries for it, not double F, only one F, remember. All right. Now, wringing your hands when you're very anxious, when you're very worried, like I was at the beginning of this session. Why is my computer not working? Why is the internet not working? So, when you're anxious, you do this. That is called wringing your hand. Okay. But that is a sign of anxiety, nervousness, tension, and that is WRING, to squeeze something. But here the word we want is A, wash your hands of the matter. To say I have no responsibility, I am away from this. Alright, okay, next one. Vinod had a dash career, hopping from one city to another and moving from one job to another. Now, generally, this is how the questions come. The meaning of the idiom is given in the sentence itself. What kind of job do you call it? What kind of career do you call it if it involves moving from one job to another or moving from one location to another? Restless, interesting, checked, or checkered. What kind of career did this person have? Because he kept changing the city and kept changing from one job to another. Okay, Shubh, JG all think it's D. Uh, Zaidul thinks it's A. Okay, checkered. Checkered career is what it is. D. Okay, restless is the meaning exactly, but that's not the word we use. That's the point with idioms. Don't go with the meaning. Idiomatic expression, the word is exactly fixed. It doesn't change with context. All right. When you have a career with many changes, you call it a checkered career. The other meaning of a checkered career is something that has a lot of ups and downs. So either ways it's correct. Both the meanings are correct. All right. How did it originate? You know, a checkerboard has black and white, constantly changing patterns, squares. That's so anything which is constantly changing is called a checkered career. Got it? All right. Always remembering the origin will help you remember the meaning. Right? Don't make matters worse. Don't add a dash to the fire. What's the word I want? Oil, fuel, wood, or flames. Don't make matters worse. What is the expression? What is the idiomatic expression for not making matters worse? Not making a bad situation worse. Oil to the fire, fuel to the fire, wood to the fire, or flames to the fire. A, B, C, or D for question 9. To make a bad situation worse, what is it called? Adding fuel to the fire. Okay. The situation is already bad and you are making it worse. Okay. All right. The India-China border dispute dashed this morning with firing across the LAC, line of actual control. Okay, this I took from a headlines at that time during the India-China border dispute. This was many months back, last year, right? So what is the exact expression? Came to a crisis, came to a conclusion, came to a head, or came off to a point. What's the expression? It was there in the headlines of a very popular newspaper. So I look out for these headlines so that I can tell the students, this is not my sentence, right? Came to a crisis, came to a conclusion, came to a head, came off a point. Shubh thinks it's C, so does Abhay. Came to a crisis, the meaning is correct, but the expression is came to a head, reach a crisis. We don't say came to a crisis, though the meaning is that it reached a crisis point. It came to a point when you had to do something. You could not, there was no way back. That is called coming to a head. Okay. All right. So the answer is C. All right. Now, phrasal verbs are verbs along with prepositions or adverbs, generally prepositions that I use. The biggest problem you have with phrasal verbs is what word to use after the verb. Because when we speak in spoken English, we often make a lot of mistakes. It's part, it's okay in spoken. Nobody sits and corrects you all the time, right? So this time, any of you took that, you will see there was a question on this, right? Many of us say cope up, cope up, cope up. Cope up is wrong. Cope doesn't take an up, so there is no phrasal verb part here. It is just cope. Same way, we use a lot of mistakes in everyday language where phrasal verbs are concerned. So, Suresh is not cut dash for this kind of verb. Is it cut up as it's given, cut out, cut off, or nothing? Just cut for this kind of work. What do you think it is? 11. I have seen some answers for B. I've seen all answers for B so far. Cut out. So far all B's. Cut out is correct. Means not, doesn't have the qualities to do this job. So not cut out for this. Okay. Cut off is our favorite word. The cut-offs, because aptitude test, the first thing we say is cut off. All right, but that's not the word we want. He passed himself dash as a member of the club. What did he do? The meaning is he pretended. He pretended to be a member of the club. Then what's the phrasal verb I want to use? What's the phrase for pretending to be a member of the club? He passed himself up, out, off, or away as a member of the, please give the question number. Okay, so it's easier for me to track because there's a small lag. So your answers I can see a little after I speak. Past himself. Okay, I can see A and C so far. D. Okay, when you pretend, the answer is to pass yourself off as somebody. When you pretend to be somebody you're not. Okay, suppose I tell you, oh, I'm an expert at maths, then you say she passed herself off as an expert in math, which I'm not. Okay, if you follow me for math, zero. But language, yes, I'm not passing myself off as somebody who's good at English. I am, because I've taught it for so many years. If you teach it for so many years as I have, then anybody can become good at it. Okay, because many years, gray hair on my head. So passed himself off. When you pass yourself off as somebody, that means you're pretending to be that person. All right. Next one. This is something that confuses a lot of students. When I used it in some session, I was surprised when I got so many wrong answers, which is why I've included it in your session too. I expect he will recover soon. He will come dash within a week. Come round, come up, come about, or come off. What's the word? I want for 13. Upamanyu, please mention the question number so I can follow whether you're answering for 12 or 13. Alright, 13, what's the answer? Just put the number and A, B, or C. I expect he'll recover soon. He'll come dash within a week. A round, B up, C about, and D is off. What's the word we want? This is an expression that is used very often. Okay. Come round, come around means to recover consciousness. All right. Even dropping in on another person is he's coming around to my place. Okay. So this is used very often. But one of the things here is he will recover soon. So the meaning is given here in the first part of the sentence. And the expression we want is come around. Students have a question, isn't it around? Around and round both are used interchangeably, but in this case it is round rather than around that we use. Okay. All right. Next question. He is arrogant and always runs dash his brother because the latter is poor. So we're talking of two brothers. One of them runs dash his brother because the brother is poor. So what does he do to his brother? Runs over his brother, runs down his brother, runs to his brother, or runs out his brother. What does he do to his brother? Remember, the arrogant guy is doing this to the poor brother. Okay. So the expression is something which is, he's not treating his brother well. That's the word. That's the expression, meaning you're getting, right? Now, running over is what you do literally, what Salman Khan did literally. When the vehicle actually moves down people. Many years back, there was a case of pedestrians sleeping on the footpaths or pavements or wherever. So that is called running over. What happened? Oh, the poor dog was run over by a vehicle, right? But if you criticize somebody, if you treat them badly, if you humiliate them, belittle them, because you are proud, you think you're superior, and the other person is inferior, the expression is running them down. Okay, he always runs down his brother. All right, to criticize somebody. And it is asked very often. Okay, all right, I'm going to give you time for this, so don't get upset. I thought of putting it in 2 slides, but it didn't make sense. Read each option. Okay, look at the meanings on the side. Column A is the phrasal verb. Column B is its meaning. All right, match the phrasal verb with its meaning. All right. And then we'll see how many of you got it right. So don't give me one answer at a time. On a piece of paper, you try to guess as many as you can. Then the rest become easy. All right. Fight shy. What is the meaning of fight shy? Quarrel, snub, hurt, avoid, explain. Next, what do you think is the meaning of account for? So don't give me one. Shubh. Sare ek bar de do. Okay. Okay, if you give one also, I'm fine. Okay. Otherwise, keep track. But in the exam, generally, on your rough paper, if you write two, you can guess the rest. Right? To account for means what? To set down means what? To cut to the quick. This may be a little strange for you, not very frequently asked. Fallout. Okay. So try to see how many you can match, guess the rest, and then I will explain each and every one of them. All right. I'll give you about a minute to answer this question. To fight shy means what? To account for means what? To set down means what? Cut to the quick means what? And to fall out means what? Quarrel, snub. Snub means to insult somebody. Okay, to snub somebody. You say something and I rudely say, no, I won't explain it. Then you feel offended. Then you say, she snubbed me. Okay, so that is the meaning of snub. To offend somebody by being rude to them. All right. You have to prepare backpack. Me and my backpack. I love that name. Huh? Very nice. Very strange. You need to work on common. See, look up last 4-5 years TISSNET papers. If you have, I think the BYJU'S app itself, you will find. And start working. You'll see there are certain questions that are asked more often. And, try to remember the words as sentences. All right. Okay. Are you all done with this? So we will do some words today. I can't do many. But generally when you pick up, you don't go in the alphabetical order, but try to see last few years question papers. Just those words, at least if you prepare. And all the options. Like they say synonyms, they'll give you 4 options. Make sure you know each word in the options. Then for 5 questions, you're actually learning 5 into 4, 20 words, right? And try to use them in sentences so they stay in your head. All right. Okay. Let's see. To fight shy of something means to avoid somebody or something. To account for means to explain. Many of you got that right. To set down somebody means to be rude to somebody, to be curt to somebody, to snub somebody, to act rudely with somebody. You'll say, oh, it was a set down for me. Boss jab gali deta hai, we say, oh, I got a set down from the boss. But the boss was very rude. Cut to the quick means to hurt someone. And fall out means to quarrel. He and his brother had a fallout. Mukesh and Anil Ambani had a fallout. Okay, so I fell out with my brother. I fell out with my friend means to quarrel. All right, good, good. Okay, the advantage of match the following is in one question I say, okay, my students have known now 5 questions and their meaning, but it takes time for you to work it out, right? So these are some of the terms. Okay, now in grammar, there is this entire Wren and Martin you can learn, but just remember that in most entrance exams, aptitude tests, 2 areas or rather 3 areas that you really need to be good at. One is your knowledge of prepositions, which cannot be taught, which comes with reading. Okay. Second is tenses. And the third is subject verb agreement. If you can at least revise these 3 lessons, then you've covered most of the so-called syllabus. Okay. Now, in TISSNET particularly, a lot of questions are asked on tenses, which is why I thought I should ask you some questions. And as I do those questions, I'll explain the concept behind it as quickly as I can. Any question on tenses, always remember, ask yourself, what is the time of reference of the speaker? Is he talking of now? What has already happened or what's going to happen? And depending on that, you think of the verbs to be all in present tense, all in past tense. These are the 2 that are tested mostly. Sometime future time is tested. Okay. Things that you do on a regular basis, present, simple present tense. Things that are going on now. Like, for example, I'll say, I drink 4 cups of coffee every day. Not I am drinking 4 cups of coffee every day. All right. Second is present continuous. I am talking now. You are listening to me. Actions that are happening now. Also actions which are continuing. As in the sense you say, okay, like, thank you, Arnab. Arnab would say, I am taking cat coaching or I am taking TISSNET coaching from BYJU'S. He may meet you in the market when he says that. But it doesn't mean he is taking the class as he's talking. Or if I tell you I'm reading a book by some author, I'm not reading it when I'm talking to you. That means the process is going on. I'm learning French at this particular institute, right? So that is present continuous. Present perfect continuous, the difference is present continuous is happening now. It is raining now. Present perfect continuous is when the action has started in the evening and started earlier and is continuing even now. So suppose I say, it has been raining. By itself, I shouldn't stop there. That's wrong. It has been raining. If I say, you'll say, okay, from which time has it started raining? That's it. It has been raining since 5 o'clock. Then it's correct. Got it? Past, similarly, any action that just happened in the past. Kal kuch hua, ya 1 hour back something happened. Then you'll say, uh, I sent you a mail. I did this. He did that. At time, place, you may add, you may not. Suppose you talk of the action as it is happening in the past. Then you'll say, I was watching a movie. But when you leave the sentence like that, it doesn't make sense. Then I'll say, okay, why didn't you say I watched the movie? Why did you have to say I was watching the movie? So then it makes sense to say, if I ask you at 9 o'clock yesterday, what were you doing? Then you'll say, oh, at 9 p.m. yesterday, I was watching a movie. Now it makes sense for you to say I was watching a movie because you mentioned the time. At 9 p.m., what were you doing? Oh, I was watching a movie. Got it? Past perfect, same way. In present perfect, you will say, oh, sorry, I haven't given you present perfect. I went off to past perfect. Okay, present perfect is something which has been completed, but just now. Okay, I have sent you a mail. Please reply to it. Means just now. I have lost my phone means I haven't found it yet. Something that happened and the event is still relevant. Past perfect you use when there is an action and there is another action which continued up to that point. So in the past, if two events happen, one action happened a little before the other, then you use past perfect for the earlier action. Okay, so I joined BYJU'S, you will say. Okay, when did you start taking coaching at BYJU'S? You will say, oh, I joined BYJU'S in 2022, or I moved to Delhi in 2022. Before that, I had lived in some other place for many years. Okay, that's when you use past perfect. Past perfect continuous, again the same thing. You say, I moved to Delhi in 2021. Before that, I had been living in Kolkata for many years. Then you use past perfect continuous. Alright. Now there are three conditional sentences and they ask you lots of questions on the conditional sentences. I'll explain it to you. Let's start with that much. Identify if these sentences have an error, if which part of the sentence has an error. If there is no error, then you mark E. RC is easy. So what you need to do is first focus and read the passage as quickly as you can. Now don't panic. If you panic, whatever you're reading, all the lines will float like this. So you need to be calm and you just read the passage with as much focus as you can. Once you've done that, then you look at the question, then you know that the answer is given in this part of the passage. So go back to it, cross check and mark your answer and move ahead. That's what I would normally do. All right. I told my assistant to take rest for a while since he's working without a break since morning. One sense is because, the second sense is subah se. All right. Perfect. I've got all correct answers. It's not he is working. It is he has been working. All right, next one. If I would have known how far the place was, I would have taken a taxi. Question 17. Yeah, 16, many of you got it right. 17. For RC, anything practice questions at BYJU'S is enough. Okay, any book you use. Yeah, what's the answer for 17? A, many of you. Excellent. Right? These are the three structures you need to remember in conditional sentences. I'm happy to see many of you have got it right. If the conditional sentences have two parts in it, one is the if part and the second part is the then part. Then is not mentioned, it's not important. If it is mentioned also, it's fine. One is simple present tense, simple future for an action in the future. You're saying, if I work hard, I will succeed. You are sure, certain of the result, then you use conditional 1. Type 2 conditional, you're still talking of the future, you're not certain of the result. Okay, then you say, if I worked, I might succeed, I would succeed, I could succeed. You are doubting, which is why you have added words like this here. I could succeed, I might succeed. So these two are still talking of the future. This is the simplest explanation I can give you. The third one, the action is already over. You didn't study, you didn't succeed. So you will say, if I had worked hard, agar मैं करता तो success मिलता. So if I had worked hard, this is in past perfect and this is would have. Okay, so these are the three types of conditional sentences they ask you. Two rules to remember, that when this if and then clause can be interchanged, it doesn't matter. But the if clause should only be in these forms. There will be no will or would. No will or would should be used in the if clause. Got it? So you shouldn't say, if I will work hard, I will succeed. Wrong. You can say, I'll succeed if I work hard. That's fine. But no will or would should be added in the if clause. Got it? So here the mistake is that a would has been added there. Got it? Okay. Next one. This was part of an aptitude test. I'll tell you what was the what is the concept they were testing. By the time we get back from our trip, the plant would die. The plants would die. A, B, C, D, or no error. Question 18. Question 18. By the time we get back from our trip, the plants would die. What does the sentence have an error? If there is no error, put an E there. So, what are we talking about? Time related sentence. So, think of what tense should be used. You are talking of the future, right? You're talking of the future. So, you'd say, by the time we get back. Okay, that means you still haven't gone. You're saying, but by the time we return, you're talking of a future event. So you should not use would. You will say will have died. You shouldn't. Somebody said would have died. The preferred expression is, whenever you're talking of a future event, use will rather than would. Okay, because the people who are very particular about grammar will not accept would for any future event. Would is the past of will, right? Would is used in conditionals. So you do not use would have died. You're talking of the future. So I would have helped you if you had told me the past. I should use, but not in the future. All right, next one. You'd better hurry up if you want to reach the station in time to catch the train. You had better hurry up if you want to reach the station in time to catch the train. A, B, C, or D, or no error E. What's the answer? Okay. Harshit has come in with an answer. Shubh agrees with Harshit. 2 A's I've got so far. Uh, okay. Okay. All seem to say A. Are you going to fight with me now? No, you had better do it. Normally, the had is not expanded, it is given like this. Whatever way it is given, this expression is correct. You would better hurry. You had better hurry is correct. Okay? You should hurry is what I mean, but this expression is correct. So the answer is no error. Look it up. Look it up. Don't trust me. Okay, next one. I've been taking online classes since the last several months, but have never seen such offending comments or such wonderful comments. Let me change it to something positive. Uh, Correct, wrong, what's the answer? I've been taking online classes since the last several months, but have never seen such offending comments. Yes, 19 is something that students are not aware of, but now that you know, you will, remember it. So it's generally asked. You had better do it is Vanya a correct expression. Okay. Yeah, it's that's the expression we use. Hurry up, you should hurry up, you had better do it. That's the expression we use. There's no explanation for it, unfortunately. It is correct, it is an expression we use. Okay. Okay. 20, many are saying is C, E, no error, B. Yeah, so here, this expression, what is the time of reference? I have been taking online classes. This part is correct. So, from the past to now. Then the question comes, is this the correct preposition to use? Now, what is the difference? Am I talking of a starting point of an action or a length of time? Starting point of an action, it has been raining since morning. Subah se ab tak. But if I want to say it has been raining dash 4 hours now, then what should I say? Right? Answer is for. Okay, some of you got that right. Because you normally don't notice that. You think of the first part as a tense question. So you're only looking at the tense factor. But you get two concepts in one question. So you need to look out for other errors as well. I've been taking online classes. Okay, looks fine. Since the last several months, now I'm talking of the time period from 4 months, that entire time I'm talking about. So it should be for, not since. Since is only used for the starting point of action. I've been taking this class since 9 o'clock. So I've been taking this class for 45 minutes. Right? All right. No sooner did the teacher enter the class than the class started. A, B, C, or no error D. Since it is not to do with countable or uncountable, Shubh, since is used for the starting point of an action. Okay. Since 9 o'clock means from 9 till the point I'm talking about. So the action is continuing. Okay. For is used for the amount of time. For 5 years, for 15 minutes, for 20 minutes. Okay, what's the error in C? Please correct it for me. Not then, but than. So this is called correlatives. No sooner than. Okay. Hardly, scarcely. Look up the answers. All right. This is called subjunctive when you're talking of hypothetical events. What form of verb do you use? If I was a rich man or if I were a rich man, I would build many libraries. You're talking of a hypothetical situation. Suppose. Then your language is a bit different. You don't use the normal forms of the verb. That's why that verb form is called the subjunctive. So you're not, you're saying suppose. So agar main, if you're saying, then you say, if I were the Prime Minister of India, not was. If I were a rich man, that means you're thinking of an imaginary situation. So you'll say, if I were, not if I was. Alright, so the answer for 22 is B. If I were a bird, if I were the Prime Minister of India, if I were a rich man. Okay, because you're not talking of a real situation. Was is for a real situation. Okay, if he was at home, he would have opened the door. There you won't say if he were at home. You're knocking on the door. Your brother is not opening it or your roommate is not opening it. Then you say, oh, he must have gone out. If he was at home, he would have answered. Okay, all right. Though the first portion of the book was dull, the later or latter part was interesting. You're talking of the first portion of the book, which was dull. The dash part was interesting. 23. Do I want A or B? 23. Later or latter? Later means later in time. Okay. First, she taught tenses. Later, she taught grammar. Other parts of grammar. But if I talk of two people, okay, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, the former and the latter. Latter means the second part or the second mentioned name. Alright, so the answer you want is latter. He is an aggressive player, but you can't help liking him. Can you or can't you? Again, we'll go back to my cricket example. Virat Kohli is an aggressive player, but you can't help liking him. Can't you or can you? What's the answer? Is it A, can't you, or B, can you? The rule about question tags is if the main sentence is in negative, you can't help liking him. The tag has to be positive. If the main sentence is positive, then the question tag has to be negative. Alright, so just keep an eye on question tags too. He would have drowned if he did not or had not known how to swim. Think of the three conditional sentences and based on that decide whether it is did not or had not. He would have drowned if he did not or had not known how to swim. Would have, right? So it is third conditional. So easily you will say it is this. Okay, first one is he will drown. Okay, no. If he, okay, if he did know or did not know how to swim, or if he had not known. If he had not known, had he not known, he would have drowned. Type 3 conditional. So answer is B. Okay, so I hope you found that useful. All right, we tried to do some of the important concepts, whatever we could in an hour. So just be focused, solve the last 4 or 5 years question papers. We have our TISSNET mocks. I hope some of you have taken it if you're classroom students. Try to look at those words and similar words when you are preparing. For RC, some of you asked like, how do I maximize my scores in RC? Read the passage as quickly as you can without losing comprehension. Look at the questions because you need to again refer to the passage to answer the question. So the first reading of the passage is to know the main points. After that, when you look at the question, you cross-check your answers by looking at the passage again. And you don't have to search the entire passage. You know, okay, somewhere in the first paragraph he mentioned something. You look at the answer, mark it and move on. Alright, and grammar is easy. You just have to think. Words are most of the time easy. Moderate level words you get, some frequently asked words, just look at it and prepare. And the key is believe in yourselves, focus on the exam, you'll do well. Thank you very much. The cat, those of you who are expecting a call, the vatpi program is on. Srinivas and Gautam Baba are taking sessions. They are the best mentors in the industry for interviews and essays. I will be taking two essay writing sessions this weekend and the next weekend. You get all this in the vatpi program, so make sure you join it. All right. We have a CAT 22 program for those of you who are enrolling. I have another session sometime around the 24th, not on TISSNET, but something else. That's what I said, Pratibha, no? No, sorry. Huh. You need to look at the kind of words that have been asked in the last few years, questions, and try to work at it. Okay. Uh, these are the people, all experts, all 99 percentilers in different exams over the years. Saral, of course, is a serial 100 percentiler. All right. Uh, I will be taking a lot of sessions. All of us will be taking a lot of sessions. Let me see if I can fit in a vocabulary session. But vocabulary in one session, how much can you really pack in into one session was my logic. I said, let me give them an overview of the entire exam. All right. If you like the session, excuse me, do press the like button. Leave a comment, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to our channel. I will be taking sessions. We'll try to fit in a vocabulary session. If we cannot, then keep your focus on and use this pattern. Solve the last 5 years question papers and you're set. Even RC, time yourself and solve the last few years question papers. All right? Okay, I will see you very soon in another session. In the meantime, study hard, stay home, stay safe. Just go take the tests online, then take it online and do your best. All right? See you then. Good night. Bye bye.